a multi-party system was a terrific idea for the US. Now, obviously, the US wouldn't want to go as far down the path as Italy, where once upon a time there were so many parties that you would have one coalition after another and the country was ungovernable. But the US is not exactly spoiled for choices. In the previous election, you had Hillary Clinton. She was representing Wall Street and a few other people. And then you had Donald Trump, who was representing himself and everyone who was angry with Hillary Clinton. So you had a glorious two-meal menu. And you could choose either smelly bread, or you could choose rotting salad. And most people held their nose and voted for one or the other. Of course, there were some true believers who actually believed that Hillary or the Donald would lead them to salvation and heaven and maybe even 72 virgins. But we'll not talk about those chaps or those ladies. The reality is that American elections have become too expensive. Parties have become too powerful, and they stamp out a lot of people with new ideas who are unwilling to play the party machine. So what does it take to get elected? Well, number one, money. Run, and either have money or raise money. There are people who raise $17,000 per day as congressmen. Number two, media exposure, which Donald got a lot of. Donald Trump, or President Donald Trump, got a lot of it free. Three, increasing leaks following on from media exposure. If you're a celebrity, you've got to be tall, good looking. Even Barack Obama was a bit of a superstar. He got elected because of his oratory, not because of his track record in office. And the party system exacerbates many of the worst tendencies of America, and the fact that there are just two parties and both of them are beholden to very narrow set of interest groups means that big issues in America, such as the red tape small business faces today, such as the fact that the bailout to the banks was not contested by either party. When the banks were in trouble, what happened was, it was socialism on the downside. And they took some of the taxpayer money to pay bonuses to themselves, which I think was egregious, which I think was unethical, which I think led to both the rebellion of Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party movement. And so what the US needs is a few more parties, maybe two or three. It certainly needs a center-right party. There is no center-right party in the US. You have to kowtow to the extreme elements in the Republican Party to win an election. You do need a center-right policy that believes in fiscal responsibility, that wants to have, let's say, free trade, that wants to keep regulation low for small business. You also need a center-left party, or actually maybe a more left party. And perhaps you need the Greens as an alternative. After all, we can see you have global warming, you have climate change, the glaciers in the Himalayas, in my land, India, are melting. The glaciers in the Arctic and Antarctic are melting. Freak weather is growing by the day. And so we've got to change the way we live, and we need a party to set out alternative policies in a coherent fashion to do that. So America would do very, very, very well with a multi-party system, and we need them from different ideologies, different philosophies, and formed of different personalities for the way forward for this hugely diverse land of over 315 million, if I'm not mistaken. So a multi-party system would be a jolly good idea.